Do that. I think I'm still okay. All right. Bureaucracy. Let me see if I'm still okay. That makes me nervous. All right. I'm not sure. Am I still going? Did I miss it? No, it looks to me like I'm still okay. That thing suggests that I'm still going. Okay. So I'm just gonna do it here because I'm scared of it. All right. Bureaucracy is the rule of people at desks. So the president's got the job, like the take care clause in the Constitution, Article 2 says the president's got the duty to take care that laws are faithfully executed, but they're executed by bureaucrats. An executive order is the president telling bureaucrats what to do. All right. Okay. So what it does, implement the laws, carry out laws, execute laws, implementation. All right. And remember, we were in class when we were going over it, and Mr. Holly came over the intercom and said, "Hey, teachers, it's up to teachers' discretion whether or not the kids get to go on some trip or something. But bureaucrats have discretion about how to carry these policies out. You know, the FBI, had discretion over how long to let those folks hide out there in that compound in Waco. And if different bureaucrats are doing different things, using discretion different ways, sometimes the bureaucracy will make rules. So most recently, we said getting rid of the FCC, getting rid of the equal time provision or the fairness doctrine was just the changing of a rule. A law didn't get passed there. All right, and that rule had been in place from the 30s to the 80s. All right, so the perception is that, hey, it's real big, and they don't know what they're doing, it's inefficient. Turns out that it's shrinking as a percentage of the workforce and compared to states. Okay, so take a look at that. Okay, all right. So you need it. We need it because we're spending trillions of dollars a year, so it needs to be well organized. Okay, it doesn't need to be haphazard in the way these policies get carried out. Okay, so Weber said it was kind of a good thing because it provides rules for how policies get carried out. If the bureaucrats don't do a good job, they're accountable for it. There's a chain of command, somebody at the top that makes the decisions. They're experts. The bureaucrats. For the most part, you got to take a test if you're going to be a bureaucrat. I watched that thing on Snowden and the NSA. I mean, he was a real expert on computer stuff. And then it's standardized. Everybody's got to kind of do the same job, so you know what to expect when you're dealing with the bureaucracy. So the acronyms is RACES there with two S's. Okay. All right, so then the policies. All right, so the policies are they promote public welfare. So the EPA and the CDC and the FCC, been talking about the FCC quite a bit now, does that. The National Park Service, they collect money, like the IRS, the Department of Treasury, or the Federal Reserve, or they protect people, like the CIA, FBI, State Department. The Hatch Act says while you're on the job working for the bureaucracy, you can't be working for a campaign. You work for a campaign in the evening, but no political work during the day. All right, the bureaucracy is the most representative part of the government, especially at the lower levels of bureaucracy. It becomes whiter and maler the farther up things get. One of the discussions as Biden is appointing his cabinet, making his nominations for cabinet, is just how representative the cabinet's going to be. There's some Latino groups pushing for 5 Hispanic cabinet members. Okay, the deep state are all these folks that have been there forever to, regardless of who the president is. And so they're going to kind of resist big time reform. Okay. The Penal Act enacted the merit system. That's when Garfield got shot and the spoil system had been in place. If you're working for the bureaucracy and you think the most qualified person for the job didn't get the job, you can take your complaint to the OPM. That's the Office of Personnel Management. Okay, so then the last question is how do the branches keep the bureaucracy under control? Well, oversight is what Congress does. They hold hearings. Hey, on the social media video, Social Dilemma, is showing hearings. Now, there's not a bureaucrat testifying there, but here you got Janet Reno testifying about Waco. It tends to be fire alarm oversight, meaning something has gone wrong. And so Congress is trying to figure that out. Now, the courts can declare rule. So now then we're looking at, so I should put, can I change it? The courts here. So the courts can declare rules unconstitutional. So in parentheses, I'll put Hobby Lobby. Remember, Hobby Lobby sued the Obama administration over whether or not Obamacare meant they had to pay for birth control, and won. Court declared that rule unconstitutional. All right, here's what president can do. He can appoint, he can promote, he can fire. I mean, Trump's done a lot of appointing, a lot of firing. If he thinks, the president thinks agency's doing a lousy job, he can propose a budget cut. He can reorganize once upon a time. Really, the Department of Homeland Security is a result of reorganization, trying to get the FBI and CIA working together better. He can use the bully pulpit, try to pressure bureaucratic agencies to do his will, and he can issue executive orders. The executive order is the president telling bureaucrats to do something. Okay. Well, I guess we can do this. All right, so they got the executive agencies. So NASA is one of those. So here's some other ones, but they don't quite fit into a cabinet department. The EPA is another one. The OMB helps them with the budget. FDIC insures bank deposits. Okay, and I think, yep, I got to go to, let's see if I have it. Let's see if it's up here. All right, so the other ones are what? Government corporations. So that's Amtrak, the post office, and they make a profit, but not as much as a profit as they would make. And then regulatory commissions, such as the Fed, that increases or lowers interest rates, and then the FCC regulates the airwaves, and is very much on our mind. Okay, so those are those other things other than the cabinet. Now let me work my way up to cabinet stuff here, which I believe is above these presidential helpers. Yeah. All right, so on the test, you ain't got to list 15 cabinet departments. Just know what they do and really know this about it. Boom, ba-boom. Yeah, this one. All right, so you're called secretary if you're a member of a cabinet. The part of the government and the cabinet, they're all called departments. There's 15 of them. All right, so there's the three jobs. They advise the president. They represent the department probably better than they represent the president. So like the president doesn't always listen to the cabinet, gets mad at the cabinet. And, of course, you got the succession to taking the president's place. And there's the order of succession. So president, vice president, speaker of the House, president pro tempore of the Senate, and then oldest cabinet department down to youngest cabinet department. Okay, I think that's it. And so I think, let's see if I do this right here. It'll be a relatively reasonable amount of time on your video.